What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Monday NBA DFS value video talking about the main slate, as always, using FanDuel salaries. We have 9 games on the main slate tonight. We also have Monday Night Football between the Giants and the Patriots. Let's get after it here. Let's start the week off right. The NFL was a little tough over Thanksgiving. Especially on Sunday. That slate was brutal, but we have a new week here. Some good value plays on this slate. I'm giving you guys a lot of cheap values so you can kind of look and spend up on your own. Doing a free Guru credit code after the first couple of my plays. Just like the video and subscribe. So for point guard, I'm looking at Kevin Porter as a value play. He just came back from injury last game against the Nets. And he played very well. He played 24 minutes. It was a blowout. They destroyed the Nets. We saw Giannis only play 19 minutes. So the fact that he's playing 24 minutes in his first game back when they were, blowing out the Nets is a really good sign for how healthy he is. I would assume we can set the minimum at 25 minutes tonight in a close game. There's a chance it doesn't end up being a close game, though. It is a matchup against the Wizards. But they're on the road, and the Bucks haven't exactly been a dominant team this year. He should be starting again alongside Ryan Rollins and Giannis. He's projected for 28 fantasy points. He needs 27 to hit value. I think he can be easily a fantasy point per minute kind of guy, and I think his minutes could creep into the high 20s tonight. He's not like a must play. There's a little bit of a risk here. We don't know, how comfortable they are playing him, over 20 minutes because we've only seen one game, but he looked good. It was a blowout. They could have easily sat him if they really wanted to. Looks like they stretched him out pretty well at 24 minutes. I would expect at least 25 minutes from him tonight. So he projects well at 5,400. Shooting guard, staying cheap again. He's too cheap in this spot. He's starting to get a feel for his game on the Nets. The rookie, Igor Daman, I have no idea how to say his name. I know it's a weird way to pronounce it, but we'll just call him Igor in this video. 4,500, great matchup against the Hornets. It's like a 4-point spread. Both teams are pretty bad, so it ends up making for a good DFS game. Again, 4,500 is too cheap. He's coming off of a unbelievable game against the 76ers, 30 minutes, 23, 9, and 5, 47 fantasy points. So we know what his upside is. We also know what his downside is. He could get you 15 fantasy points. But I would assume as he gets more comfortable on this team, he's going to play well, and he won't be a $4,000 player too much longer. I expect him to play anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes tonight. And again, he's projected well. He's projected for almost 25 fantasy points. He only needs 22 at that salary. Can play point guard and shooting guard. I expect Igor to be pretty popular on tonight's slate just because of the matchup. A lot of the times when we pick Nets players, we got to worry about a blowout and these guys not playing in the fourth quarter. I don't think that needs to be too much concern on this slate tonight with a matchup against the Hornets. I like him as a value play. And like Kevin Porter, he can play point guard and shooting guard. Small forward, this is the spend up in the video. Franz Wagner, 8,100. Great matchup against the Bulls. A very similar spot to him that I like equally is Desmond Bane at 7,200. I don't think he's a high enough price with Paolo Banchero out. He's starting to play really well. He had an awful start to the season. He burnt me a couple of times and I stopped picking him, but now I think my rest period is over because I've seen a few really good games out of him, so I'm ready to take off the handcuffs and start rostering Desmond Bane again. It's too cheap of a price. The matchup's awesome. It's a 240 over-under against the Bulls. It should stay somewhat close. We got news earlier that now Kobe White is doubtful, I think with an illness or something, so that doesn't help the Bulls' chances of staying in this game, but they still have Josh Giddey, who's an absolute stud, so I don't think the Magic are any concern of a blowout without Banchero on their team. They're still a good team, but It should stay close. I think Bane will play anywhere from 32 to 37 minutes in this game. Needs 36 fantasy points to hit value. He's projected for right around that, coming off of a ceiling game against the Pistons, 56 fantasy points. But we can project him to, play low to mid 30s in minutes, and he's starting to look really good and comfortable with his new team. I meant to talk about Franz, but I ended up talking about Desmond Bane. I like Wagner too. 8,100 if you wanted to pair both of them. I don't hate it. There's not a lot of great spend ups on this video or on this slate. Jokic is here with an awesome matchup against the Mavs, but we have a lot of value at center. So we're going to have to do some weighing in on opportunity costs later on. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing. But these Magic guys look like really good spend ups against the Bulls here tonight. He's projected for 42 fantasy points. He only needs 40. He's been a little bit lackluster over the last few games. I would have expected better stats with Banchero out. So he's been kind of underperforming for what he normally can do with this kind of usage. As you can see, struggling to crack the 40 mark over the last couple of weeks. And that's what we need to hit value. He shows a ton of upside. And I do think he gets anywhere from, like Desmond Bane in a close game, anywhere from 32 to 37 minutes here. And he looks really good. I think he's going to get up towards 40 fantasy points. We know his ceiling. We know he can get 50 plus. And the matchup is really good tonight against the Bulls. Let's go over to my website, fd-guru.com. Sign in. Make sure you are in an account so that the credits work when you put in the code. These credits are used on FanDuel and DraftKings, NBA, NFL lineups, and then when the seasons come, MLB and PGA as well. Go to the shop page where you buy all your usual credits. These credits are the currency on the site to get memberships. Today's code is the date. I can't believe it's already December, but DEC1 NBA 25. The date, DEC1 NBA 25, all caps, and that will get you 10 Guru credits. Give it a few seconds, and it will upload into your balance again. You got to be signed into an account for this to work. If you don't have an account, make one. You don't need to put in a credit card or anything, and you get $50 in playthrough credits to test out my site and see how it runs. For power forward, we're going back to being cheap. There's two very similar guys in the same spot tonight on the Nuggets. With Christian Brown out and with Aaron Gordon out, we've seen extra usage for Cameron Johnson and Peyton Watson. I don't know who I like more. I think it's got to be Cameron Johnson because he's a couple $100 cheaper. And he seems like he has a more consistent floor. Watson's kind of boomer bust. I'd say out of the two, Watson's a GPP guy. Cameron Johnson's a cash guy. He just kind of fluctuates. He can get over 40 fantasy points and he can get, only 20 or 21 fantasy points. And now that his price is pretty adjusted, it's a little bit of a risk. By no means is it a bad play. I think he's very viable on this slate tonight. The matchup's elite against the Mavericks. They're not on the road. They're at home, so there could be a blowout in this game. Last time I checked, the spread was like 10 or 11, so it's going to take a lot for these guys to not be in the fourth quarter. But Watson's fine. I do like Cameron Johnson a little bit more. Again, he's a little cheaper, and he's been more consistent as of late. A really tough start to his Nuggets career at the beginning of the season, putting up just dastardly performances. I mean, disgusting. Like 9 fantasy points in 22 minutes, 8 fantasy points in 20. I mean, they made my eyes bleed, honestly. These performances were terrible, but these games seem to be well behind him because since Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown went out about a couple of weeks ago, he's been cooking. We're talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 out of 7 of the last games, he's hit value. He needs 26.5, 27 fantasy points to hit value, and he's projected for almost 30 tonight. So he can play small forward and power forward on FanDuel, so multiple ways to get him in your lineup. And he's been playing mega minutes. Granted, he's the third or fourth option behind Jokic, Jamal Murray and maybe Peyton Watson, but he's on the court a ton. He can run into steals. He can run into a block. Like I said with Watson, the matchup's elite against the Mavericks, and he's been playing 35-plus minutes. So he looks like a good play. We know in the past when he was on the Suns, when he was on the Nets, it's not like this is just some new guy with the Nuggets. He's been established in the league for easily over 5 years, and he can be really good. So it's not as risky as you might think it is. I think Peyton Watson's a little bit more risky. I do like both guys. They're in very similar spots at a very similar salary range. Something to keep your eye out on for tonight's slate. Then center, I mentioned Jokic, by far the best spend up tonight. He's projected for like 65 fantasy points. This guy is just elite in every which way. But we have opportunity cost, and there's a lot of good value at center tonight. One of them is Wendell Carter on the Magic, a little bit revenge game against his former team that he came up with, the Chicago Bulls, and he's been playing pretty well as of late. 5,500, he's playing good minutes. In a close game, he's going to play over 30 minutes. He needs 27 fantasy points. He looks pretty good. He's in a very similar value spot in price range as Cameron Johnson and Peyton Watson. But it's going to be tough to get away from, as gross as it is, Marvin Bagley. We got Alex Sarr ruled out, which means they have no other big guy. They have Tristan Vukcevic, who they are weird about playing. And every time we've seen Alex Sarr out this year, Marvin Bagley has started. The Bucks are big. They got Miles Turner. They got Giannis. They got Bobby Portis. The Wizards are going to have to play Marvin Bagley because even their power forwards are not big. Bilal Coulibaly is more of a small forward, and Champagne's more of a small forward. So they don't really have any bigs. Anthony Gill doesn't play. He's basically a player coach. He's like 75 years old. So I'm not worried about Gill. I think we're going to see we could see 30 minutes out of Bagley, and then maybe Vukcevic picks up the last 18 minutes, something along those lines. This game's at 7 o'clock Eastern, so if they do any weird shit and we don't see a big in the starting lineup or Vukcevic is starting, we'll be able to know. So later on, pay attention to the Wizards lineup, but I do expect Marvin Bagley to be starting and playing a lot of minutes. Last time this happened was against the Timberwolves on November 19th. He played 30 minutes, and Marvin Bagley's a guy, when he gets the time on the court and he's only 4K, it's not going to be hard for him to get 20-plus fantasy points to hit value. That was really the only time he saw extended minutes, and he did not disappoint. I expect him to be in a similar spot tonight, and by far, not only the best value play at center, but arguably the best value play on the entire slate. We have to make sure he is starting, though. I would say it's a high likelihood that Marvin Bagley starts against the Bucks tonight. That'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Put in that Guru credit code. Let's have a big Monday night NBA and NFL slate, and let's get after it. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.